Hello. I thought I'd come on here and it sounds like I had messages today, but they were from God. And first off, to all the detractors who have told me said I was crazy and whatnot, I want to speak to that for a minute. Everything I said was true. And I am that messenger sent by God. You have to understand what He placed in me, I guess, was a promise to us. That if we can honor Him as a God and try to live our lives the best ways we know how, be the best people we can go. And sometimes that takes a bit. He never asked for us to be perfect, but He said to obey Him. And sometimes we fail on that, but we can do better tomorrow. We can always do better. None of us are ever going to be perfect. We all fall short. Me too. I'm certainly not perfect. And I never have told anyone I was. Why did God choose me? I think it had something to do with authenticity. Being honest about who I am, even when that does fall short. I'm just me. Do I have some superpowers or anything like that? No. I have faith in God. And I know He said He'll look out for me. He'll protect me. And so I don't have any fear. I don't have any fear of going forward to tell anyone about Him. And I know that He is more kind than people really give Him credit for. That's true. I lived a wretched life. And most people would think that I would be so evil because of the life I lived, because of the life I had to tolerate through family members, through people, through just circumstances. But God didn't see that. He saw what I could be instead of what I am. And so, to Him I say thank you. Thank you for knowing me from the inside out. I tell that I should be blessed very, very, very miraculously. That hasn't come yet, but if He said it, then I believe it. That's all I'll say about that. But whether it comes or not, I'm still God's servant. And we are all His children. We are all chosen in some way. God has put things inside of us like talents or different things in us that are unlike anyone else. He told me I am unlike anyone else in the world. Okay. So are you. So are you. All of you. Anyone who listens to this knows that you have talents and gifts that are different from everyone else's. Use them to the glory of God. My ability to love people is big. And it's not always met well, but God knows my heart. He knows it's pure. He knows I'm innocent. I don't worry about it. I just continue to love the people I love in the way that I love them. There ain't nothing weird about that. And this is one of my bad points of it. Hey, I know who I am. And I do that. Everybody will cut that out yet. I'll cut out everything else. Anyway, where was I? In that life, as I came up, I didn't get much of a childhood, but I always knew that there was a God. From the time I started remembering, I could remember. I knew there was a God. Didn't know who he was. I had an image of him. And I never, there for a while, and this is where I step in to this, let's call it a purpose. There, throughout the, maybe during the 80s and whatnot, going through hardships and whatnot, I started wondering, is there a God? Because, see, when we first come to this planet, we're born in, the veil is still very thin. So we remember a lot of things. As we go through our lives, those memories start to fade because they're not serving us for this life. We're doing life, and we've learned a lot. It covers up all the stuff that's inside of us. So I started wondering, is there a God? I hadn't really heard from him for a long time. I wondered. But I wouldn't say that there wasn't a God. Because really, in my heart of hearts, I just knew that there were, but I wasn't being a good Christian, I wasn't doing a whole lot of bad, but I wasn't doing a whole lot of good either. So I had karma to live out too. I lived it out. I did my karma. And one night I'm sleeping, I met this girl, I don't know, I liked her and all that, but we became friends, just to say that. Fact is, we never got together biblically, you know what I mean? I kissed her one time. Just wanted to see if I could kiss right. No, kissed her. I didn't. It wasn't a sloppy kiss or anything like that. It was just a kiss, But anyhow, she was married, and I knew that. So there wasn't a whole lot further we could go than friends, I only met her 2 times in person, But I liked her, and there was a connection there. It wasn't one that would tear her away from her husband or anything like that, and I wasn't asking her to. That's something. Marriage is something to me. It's a covenant between you and the other person and God. That's just the way it is, and that's why I see it. And so I don't step on that, from anybody. And I won't have it stepped on me, should I be married. Anyway, but something about her, I don't know, that's about the time I woke up spiritually. We talked here and there, but anyhow, there was something more to her that I didn't understand yet, there was something to me I didn't understand yet either. So when I retired, I busied my life by helping others, Anyway, I was sleeping over in that chair back there one night. TV's blaring and whatnot. I'm sleeping through it. But I heard somebody say my name. I think it was my name. And so I answered. I said, because I knew who it was. And I said, God? He said, yes. I said, I'm here. What do you say? And he came forward and I saw him. He was a gentleman older than me. He had long hair like I got, but it was white. And I can't remember, did he have I think he had a mustache and beard or something. He had a red kind of smock thing, shirt, but it was underneath a breastplate, kind of like the Romans would wear in those days. And so I said, hello, what are you here for? What am I in trouble? And no, you're not in trouble. He said, I want you to go on a journey with me. I said, all right, I belong to you, I suppose, because that's the way I see people. People, we're his creation, and we do belong to God. And he sees it that way too. I said, I belong to you, so yeah, whatever you want me to do, I'll do it, And he said, okay, it's going to be, I have to go and meet up with your counterpart. I said, who is it? Because we talked a little more about things, about my life had been, what he'd seen, whatnot. And, told me he loved me, And when he said that, then I would do anything for him because he just said he loved me. I didn't have a whole lot of friends. I didn't have a whole lot of anybody who loved me. Not really. I wish I did, but it just didn't go that way in my life, Anyway, so he said, it's Ruth. And I thought, Ruth, that's what's different about her. He said that, and he said I was a light worker. I didn't even know what that was yet. I just know that my heart was always, it was pretty good. It's a good heart, I didn't have ill will towards anyone. And if I did, then it was short-lived, and I let it go, because like everyone gets angry sometimes, I do too, I have in the past, and I'm a loyal person, so mess with one of mine, I'm going to mess with you and yours. That's the way I was, and I'll say this for God, he is certainly loyal. He is one loyal hombre. Anyhow, so I went back to sleep when he left. Okay, he said he'd be back in a couple of days to speak with me about this journey. So he left, and of course I woke up the next morning and wondered kind of to myself, did this really happen? Was that real? I'm trying to, and I ascertained that it was real. So I called this Ruth. And I said, did God come to see you? She said, yes. That was no big deal. I mean, I thought it was incredible, you know. I said, well, what did you say? She said, I don't want to go. I'm not going to go on a journey with him. I like me just fine. She got the gist of what it was about. I was still kind of wondering, am I supposed to go somewhere or something? You know what I mean? But she got the gist of the deal, and that she was going to have to do some changing and growing in places of her life that would, you know, make her worthy to serve God. I think that's what it meant. That's what it amounts to. And she said, I didn't want to change. I like me just fine. I like just where I'm at in life, and that's where I'm going to stay. So, okay, well, you know, God, that's one thing God gives us. He gives us free will. And so we can say no. I couldn't say no. I have a love for God, you know, so, of course, God needs something from me, he's going to get it, you know. But not everybody has to be that way. But know this, that if you're not for God, then who are you for? Because in the end, you got two choices. You can be for God, or you can be for that old devil. And believe me, you don't want to be for that devil. But when God asks you to do something, he never does it. And you know it's going to be tough. I know that. Somebody told me about, he said, now, I will get you ready to go on this journey. You'll have to do what I say and to get ready. And know this, that this thing that you're going to do is not for the faint of heart. And the reason I chose you was because you were the black sheep of your family. And one thing you have to do is take away all those curses, the generational curses on your lineage, which I knew nothing about, but now I understand where they came from, how they came about. I know a lot more now than I did then. And yes, we cleared those curses. We've got people still trying to put more on us, but that's going to be their demise if they can continue on that course. Anyway, so now I knew that I wasn't going to have a counterpart. And although they chose one for me, that person never stepped up either. So I did do this journey alone. And I did pretty good. I did it, and I'm still here to tell about it, you know. And believe me, it was not for the faint of heart. That is for sure. It was the hardest thing I think that I've ever done. But it was also a labor of love. You know, it was. It got me to know who I am, and to be able to love myself, because my childhood stepped up and said, "No, you're not that. You can't be that." You know, and all the things in my head. Well, they got cleared on this because I wasn't who they thought I was. And to this day, I'm sure that some of them are still doing that talking. And they'd be wrong. I was as innocent as I was good. And those parties have still yet to deal with their issues in life. And let me make you understand that not everybody's all bad or all good. We all have a little bit of everything in us. But we can go to a place where we can't turn back, which I never went that far, I just did kid shit and, you know, did stupid things as I was coming up. But in my adult life, I've been pretty good, and I still do believe the laws of God. I believe in them. I believe that they're there to keep us right, keep our souls right, and it worked for me, and it probably worked for you too. Anyhow, that journey is about over. Now there'll be something else for me to do. I know what that course is, but I'm not going to tell you what it is just yet. But it's good for mankind. It's a good thing for people, because in my prayers are always about not only me, but all of the people I know and all of the people I don't know who need God, who need help from God. Because I know how tough it's gotten out there in the world. And, most people aren't rich. They don't have everything they need. And it's getting worse, and I see that. So, you'll hear of me again. And as long as there's corruption and things just aren't fair to the common man, I'll be around. And so will God. God's always around. And you may not think that you have any dealings with God, but I bet you he could point out a few times when he saved your butt. He knows all of us. And he loves all of us, Some people are not in his better graces, but, they can get there. I wasn't ready to go on this thing and do this thing. But God got me ready. And that's not an easy task, but you learn through hard knocks. You don't learn. It's not a fun thing, but when you're ready to do it, and it would behoove you to do it, is to go through that journey, to know that you're right with God. We are in the end times. This is clear, and what happens here from now, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. I mean, it doesn't look like it's going to look exactly like what you read in Revelations, because I walked some paths that kept us from that. Things would, and there are other light workers out there who are doing their jobs too. And because of those people, we may be able to get past some of those things. And a shout out to all of you, 144,000. If you need to talk to somebody, talk to me. I'll tell you what's up. Know that anyone can do what I did. And anyone can serve God. And that's a good thing. Get rid of the things that you wouldn't want to prey on. Like, being mean or being a thief or liars and things like that. Stuff that's wrong, If you're doing all those things and that's the way you live in life, well, you probably ain't ready. But there are a lot of good souls out there who are ready. And as long as you're believing in God and you believe in what he tells you, and he tells you through his word, and maybe he'll come see you, I don't know. I didn't expect that. He talked to me and explained salvation to me one time because I was screwing up and I was supposed to go on Santa, be getting with him, and I didn't go because I was so high. I just didn't want to. I didn't want to go see him like that. So he came to me. He said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Oh God, I'm screwing up." He goes, "Yeah." He said, "I could feel your guilt all the way up there." Really? Wow. Yeah, he can feel that stuff. He said, "Let me explain something to you. Do you think I don't forgive you for the things you do? I've forgiven you 1,000,000 times. I don't even remember them. But when you do these little sins that you do, know that you need to know that those sins have already been paid for by my Son. So don't go feeling guilty and neglecting your work." He said, "Understand that I have forgiven you. I've given you grace. So live under that grace and don't try to give it back. You know, because I love you and you're working for me, and so I'm going to give you the grace that you need. As long as you know that my Son died for you." I said, "Taken. I'm down with that." Okay. So I got back to work. You see, God loves us, and He does really offer us grace. Just don't go giving it back by not believing in it. You know, believe that you are saved, and you are. You know, those of you who haven't done that much, what I did is I got saved and I got myself baptized, you know, and I guess I was ready, you know, and I tried to live the best way I could, you know, but I have had a lot of people come against me, and it's unreal how many people came against me. So you're going to be, the minute you give your life to God, there are a whole lot of people going to come against you. They're just going to, the minute they see it in you, it's going to make them jealous or something. I don't know. Be prepared for that. But do not step back. Go, keep moving forward all the time. Always move forward, never back. Because you are something to God. That soul that you carry inside of you, understand that's going back to God. You'll be with Him, you know. Now the way I understand it, He's gonna. Now, I'll tell you just a little bit. I know that God resides inside of me. He came and put part of His Spirit inside of me, and so when you see these reels on YouTube or whatever, and say you're God, I'm not God. No, that's not what God told me. He said you're not God, but whenever they look at you, they'll see God, because I'm in you and I'm inside of you. So that's what I figure. And then when people start thinking, "Well, you sure look good," well, they're seeing God. It's not me. I'm just a man. You know. So, but know that I can feel the heart of God, and I know when things are done to grieve Him, and I don't want to see that. I don't want to feel that, you know. But because I'm empathic, you know. But there are things that grieve God, and there are things that make Him happy too. You know, like when we do something for somebody with nothing in return, we just do it because we're kind. He likes that. He thinks that's a good thing, and so do I. And so I try to do what I can when I see people in need. You know, because God knows there's a lot of them. There are, and it's not because they've been bad or anything. You know, it's because the world has gotten to be a hard place to be. There's nothing easy on earth. I mean, we could live easier, Surely we can. There are good things. Love is the highest of all powers in the universe. If you're loving somebody, there's no wrong in you. If you're doing something out of love, there's no fault in that. I don't care what it is. If you did it for love, it conquers a lot of sins. So remember, keep your heart open to love, always, and you can have a pure heart, and those people will inherit this earth. We'll be going to the new earth, and the new earth is basically here, I think. It's but understand that if you do good things, that's gonna come back and get you, and that's a good thing. But if you're doing bad stuff, that's gonna get you too, and that ain't a good thing. So I could run off a bunch of scriptures to you, but I ain't a preacher. And if I've got a message for you, I'm gonna tell you straight up what it is. There'll be no harm, no way that you can't understand what I'm telling you, because I'm just gonna speak you the truth, just the way it is. And right now, we've got a government that seems to be broken, and it's stopped listening to the people and started listening to the rich corporations, whatnot, the special interest groups. So that's what the government is doing things for. Now, they need to get back to being a government for the people, by the people. You know what I mean? Anyway, that's about all I got to say. I'm going to keep it short and brief, but the main reason I'm here tonight was really to say thank you, God. I heard some of the things on there and on your messages, and thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for looking out for me and keeping me safe through all this. And I'm your servant for life. You can count on that. And I'm sure there are a whole lot of people out here who feel the same way about you. I love you, and I'm sure they do too. So with that, I'm going to close, and I'm going to say, if you need to talk to anybody or whatever and know what really is expected of us being human beings on this planet, but you can call me. You can holler at me. I'll be glad to tell you. It's pretty simple. Keep your heart full of love, and love the people that you love, and even the people that you don't love, treat them in a way that says you love them. Don't be mean and arrogant and nasty to people. Nobody needs that. You'd be surprised that if you smile at the world will smile back. And with that, I'm going to close. So, bless you all with the love of Christ. Amen.